Emefiele's arraignment stalled as court fails to resume proceedings in alleged 6.9 billion naira fraud case. Acting Inspector General of Police sets up special squad to address insecurity and banditry. Federal, states and local councils share 966 billion naira. On the foreign scene, Zimbabwe votes in uphill election for defiant opposition. These are the headlines on Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. The details now. The expected arraignment of the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, on Wednesday over an alleged procurement fraud has been stalled again. The matter was not listed on the cause list of a Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja on Wednesday, with no reason given, as lawyers to both parties were absent in court. The suspended CBN governor appeared before the court last Thursday, but the arraignment was stalled due to the absence of the second defendant, who was said to have been indisposed. Although Emefiele was present in court last week, the second defendant, a female CBN employee, Saadatu Yaro, was not in court. Following an application for adjournment, the presiding judge, Justice Hamza Mwazu, adjourned the matter to August 23, 2023. Earlier, we had Barrister Gabriel Adiku, a member, Legal Education Committee, NBA, who joined us to share his perspectives on the legal proceedings.
As it stands, the judge have made his comment, which for me is a rebuke, calling them to order. You are not the law to yourself. The law, it is the law that gave birth to DSS. So the law that bettered DSS also have the scope which DSS should operate within. So the word from that judge is reprimanding them to do the needful, to behave in accordance to the law. So I wouldn't want us to want to bring that into the reason for which Emefiele's case was not slated for trial today. I think whatever is the reason for the failure to have the matter go on today or continue today is incumbent on the trial judge to explain to the litigants and the lawyers involved. Nigerians want to know, this man is entitled to fair trial. Whatever it is, however it is, the trial is what, fair trial is what is entitled to, and fair trial is what he should get. Well, this is not one of those matters that is entitled to be conducted in the secret. No, the court is an open trial. Anything short of open trial cannot be adjudged to be fair trial. So I want to say, I don't want to suspect. There's no attempt anywhere whatsoever, and there should be no attempt anywhere whatsoever to conduct Emefiele's case in the secret. It must be in the open court. So the attempt of shutting out the media is not correct. It's not correct. We all cannot be in the court, but the media in the court is the eyes of the public. So the media must be allowed into the court to observe the proceeding and report to Nigerians. Nigerians are interested in this. Anything short of this cannot be adjudged to be fair trial. Fair trial is trial in the open court. Fair trial is trial accessible by every reasonable Nigerian interested. Fair trial is trial that can be adjudged by the ordinary Nigerians to have been fair. Fair trial is not adjudged by the standard of the intelligent or the rich in the society. No. Fair trial, the standard for adjudging fair trial is that of a reasonable man on the street. And that reasonable man must be granted access. Where he cannot be accessed, the media that is his voice should be allowed into the court.
Acting Inspector General of Police Kaide Egbetokum says that the force will set up special intervention squads in various
a special retreat
across the country to tackle insecurity. The police chief said this during a retreat for ex-police chiefs in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Trust TV's Sam Glory reports as put together in our studio.
In the NPF, and the people are increasingly reposing their confidence in the non-state actors. I'm happy that the chairman mentioned it the other time. I saw it in one of your press releases. Then, so there's urgent need for us to revive the Divisional Police Headquarters.
Our new policing vision is to emplace a professionally competent, service-driven, rule of law compliant, people-friendly police force that will support the agenda of government in economic recovery and growth, as well as social and political development of our country.
The retreat is coming at a time the nation is plagued by security challenges across multiple fronts. Participants here hope to see a police positioned to be able to discharge its traditional role effectively.
Part of what we've been having almost once in either in a month or two, together to know what is going on in the police force, what we can suggest to the government and the police itself, so that we have a very advanced police that the public needs. We hear from the public, we know what they want. Then when they hold this meeting, we discuss that with the serving IG, so he knows what the people are thinking of them.
We shared our experiences and our expectations from him and the expectations of the society, and we all agreed that the time has come when the retired IGs will not be docile, but will contribute with the present IG for the furtherance and good governance of the police.
The 22nd Indigenous Inspector of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, also met with critical stakeholders, where he promised to brace up to the challenges of security by responding appropriately and adequately to the dynamics of crime.
We are just asking, sir, this community policing of a team, when you are packaging it, be rest assured that PCRC across Nigeria, we are ready to key in into your program.
The area command is established in all our borders. I'm not going to do this much. Oyo State also has only 2 mobile units. It's our belief that this is not adequate.
We have a plan to create from the police mobile force a squad known as Special Intervention Squad. We are going to have this Special Intervention Squad in all the states of the Federation. We are drawing the men that will make up the squad from the present police mobile force.
The police leadership says it is fully equipped to provide effective policing strategies, assuring the police operative will engage the use of science, innovation and technology to ensure safety of lives and properties.
Planned celebration of annual Isheshe festival by adherents of traditional religion in Ilorin Emirate of Kwara State was vehemently opposed by Islamic scholars, creating tension among residents. Police, however, waded in to stop the festival to avoid escalation of the tense situation. Here's the report.
Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, is predominantly an Islamic society, with Muslim adherents being the majority. But there has been peaceful coexistence and harmonious relationship with adherents of other faiths.
I'm not an indigene, but I've been here for about 47 years. 47 years. No, I've not heard of it. I've not heard of it. Maybe because of the peculiarity of the town. Well, it is common knowledge that the larger concentration of the people in the community are Muslims. And when we talk of Isheshe, that has to do with traditional people. So if you don't really get to know so much traditional people in the city, then it may not be uncommon that you don't get to see such a festival done in the community here. Well, I think this thing has about 3 legs. One, the peculiarity of the community that may say no to it. Two, the fundamental right of that person. If the person lives here and has a right to his faith or his religion and is guided by the necessary arms of government to make sure he does not do it in a manner that will attract objection, that will attract reactions, that will lead to breakdown of law and order. Then three, what is the constitution? Constitutional provisions for such. Is anybody forbidden from exercising his right at any location in the country? So it is on the 3 legs.
I'm from Oyo State actually, but I've been living in Kwara State for over 12 years now. To a large extent, I've never heard of it or learned publicly anybody or a group of persons organizing any Yoruba traditional festival or so-called Isese or so in Ilorin, Kwara State capital, since I have been here. Personally, as a responsible citizen of Nigeria that wants peace to reign in all parts of Nigeria, every person should know that norms and tradition of every society should be obeyed and should be respected. To a large extent, in a place they don't eat so kind of, I'm just an example, where they don't do so things. You don't do it to allow peace to reign, so that you don't cause the wrath of the indigenes of the area. We know Ilorin as truly, largely Islamic state, Islamic society. So anybody that wants to do that, should at least get the nod.
National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA has launched a manhunt for a Lekki Axis Lagos-based suspected drug dealer Shomi Ayodeji Kayode, who is reportedly on the run after crushing one of its officers. Spokesman of the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, in a statement said that the incident happened when the suspect was trying to escape arrest after operatives stormed his house last weekend. Babafemi said anti-narcotics officers of the agency had last Friday stormed the residence of the wanted drug dealer located at Adetola Ayeni Close, Lekki, Lagos, for a search and possible arrest following credible intelligence that he was dealing in illicit drugs in his house. He, however, explained that as soon as he drove into the premises and sighted NDLEA officers, he engaged his car in reverse gear, knocked down one of the officers, pulled down his gate before plunging the vehicle into the fence of the opposite compound. He said a thorough search of his apartment, however, led to the recovery of 10.5 kilograms of loud, while the operative knockdown suffered multiple injuries all over his body and compound fracture on his 2 legs, for which he is currently on hospital admission for treatment. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, directed the deployment of appropriate operational assets of the agency to smoke out the wanted suspect from his hiding. Now, the Federal Account Allocation Committee, FAC, has shared a total sum of 966.110 billion naira in July 2023 to the federal government, states and local government councils. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of the Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting for August 2023. A statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations under the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Bawa Mokwa, said Tuesday. The meeting was chaired by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu. The 966.110 billion naira total distributable revenue comprised distributable statutory revenue of 397.419 billion naira, distributable value-added tax revenue of 271.947 billion naira, electronic money transfer levy revenue of 12.840 billion naira, and exchange difference revenue of 283.904 billion naira. The total deductions for the cost of collection was 62.419 billion naira, and the total deductions for savings, transfers, refunds, and tax credit cancellation was 717.962 billion naira, while the balance in the excess accrued account was put at $473,754. The National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) has reopened its orientation camp in Borno State after 12 years of insurgency. Governor Umara Zulum, during the declaration opening of Batch B Stream 2 in Maiduguri, said that the resumption of activities in the NYSC camp signifies return of peace in the northeast region. Zulum promised to engage the Corps members, especially medical doctors and other frontline health workers, to contribute in critical areas of need in the state. The NYSC State Coordinator, Commander Muhammad Adamu Jiva, said 1,125 Corps members have been deployed to serve in Borno State.
It gladdens my heart to know that the entire security architecture of Borno State had witnessed tremendous progress under my watch. This is the more reason why people have returned to their ancestral homes and going about their businesses without any risk to life and property. Our synergy with the Nigerian military, paramilitary and voluntary security organizations remain very productive and action-oriented. As you make signature to commence the National Youth Service journey through Borno State, I assure you that you will all have good testimonies to make at the end of this year, inshallah.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we take a look at Abuja residents' set agenda for newly inaugurated Minister of FCT. Details and more after the break. Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the top stories. Emefiele's arraignment stalled as court fails to resume case over alleged fraud. Acting Inspector General of Police set up special squad to address insecurity and banditry. The Kaduna State government has unveiled a comprehensive palliative support program designed to cushion the impact of the removal of petrol subsidies on residents of the state. Now, Governor Uba Sani made the disclosure on Tuesday during a joint media briefing where the initiative was unveiled with the state chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Ayuba Suleiman, and other members of the Palliative Committee comprising representatives of organized labor and civil society organizations. According to Sani, 210,000 indigent households totaling 1,050,000 vulnerable persons will benefit from the 2 billion palliative fund so far released by the federal government to the state. The governor also announced that the implementation of the palliative intervention will be executed in 3 phases, starting with the distribution of food items to poor and vulnerable households. The second and third phases will include the procurement of free buses to ease transportation challenges, supporting farmers and micro, small and medium enterprises with fertilizers and incentives to boost their businesses. According to Governor Sani, the remaining 2 phases of the palliative intervention will take care of the transportation and assistance to smallholder farmers, micro, small and medium-scale enterprises, as well as the resuscitation of train services across the 3 senatorial districts of Kaduna State, which he believes are key to cushion the sufferings of the people. While commending the state government for its inclusive approach of engaging with key stakeholders in palliative intervention and prioritizing the most vulnerable and impoverished groups, members of the committee also made a case for other categories of persons. Residents of the Federal Capital Territory have set a governance template for the newly inaugurated minister and former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, while the new minister hits the ground running with policy pronouncements that elicited divergent reactions. Some residents said what they consider as areas that need priority attention by the FCT minister. Trust TV's Noel Samson reports.
The immediate past governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, was appointed minister of the FCT by President Bola Tinubu. His appointment did not come as a surprise to many owing to his performance in Rivers State. Nyesom Wike was quick to make his intention to restore the master plan of the capital city, even if it means stepping on toes of passive people in high places. This threat generated reactions amongst the residents who did not also hide their expectations on the new FCT administration.
Wike is a man that he has a lot of energy. He's focused. Yes, he might be brash and may not come off as a smooth talking person, but definitely he's a very effective person. He's a goal-getter. So that alone, FCT does not need a smooth talker. FCT needs somebody who is ready to do the job. The city has really degraded, since after the tenure of Obasanjo, El-Rufai.
Looking at what he has done in Rivers State, though I have not been there, but the informations around shows that he's a developer, and I believe he'll do the same in FCT here.
What he's saying is right, because there are a lot of buildings, a lot of lands and properties that are abandoned by people because they think it's something that the federal government has allocated to them, and they think they will not do justice to what they've given them. But as a matter of, he won't just take justice into his hands. I don't know. He has to take it very, very slightly, because these things are something that you need to go through the books. You understand?
His nickname is Infrastructure Man, so I'm sure. Yeah, you can't compare FCT with Rivers as a state. Yeah, the revenue here and the allocations here might not be, it will not even be up to what he was getting as governor of Rivers, and the projects he was doing there, you cannot expect him to do them here. But I am sure we'll get the best from him.
They are ever hopeful that the new minister will turn around the capital and give it its desired facelift. Abuja is Nigeria's capital. They say it's grappling with growing population that requires infrastructural expansion, enhanced water supply, sound educational institutions, and robust modern transport system. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from Nigeria, polls have opened in Zimbabwe as President Emmerson Mnangagwa seeks a second and final term in a country with a history of violent and disputed votes. The elections being held on Wednesday are the second since the removal of longtime repressive ruler Robert Mugabe in a coup in 2017. 12 presidential candidates are on the ballot, but the main contest is expected to be between the 80-year-old Mnangagwa, known as the Crocodile, and 45-year-old opposition leader Nelson Chamisa. Mnangagwa narrowly beat Chamisa in a disputed election in 2018. Chamisa hopes to break the governing ZANU-PF party's 43-year-old hold on power, and Zimbabwe has known only two leaders since gaining independence from white minority rule in 1980. A runoff election will be held on October 2 if no candidate wins a clear majority in the first round. This election will also determine the makeup of the 350-seat parliament and close to 2,000 local council positions. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.